Should you give the narcissist another chance? Now, everybody knows the answer to this question, right? Of course not. You can't give the narcissist another chance. The narcissist is always going to go back to the way that they were before, if not worse. They will say anything to get back into your good graces. They will lie. They will manipulate you. Nothing's ever going to get better. So obviously, no, you should never give the narcissist another chance. While this seems really simple, and it is really simple, it doesn't seem that simple to you when you are really in the middle of a real life situation like this. When the narcissist to you is a real human being with a name and a history, and somebody that you've invested in emotionally over time, someone that you don't really want to lose. When you have a lot of things going on in your head about scenarios that maybe possibly this person might turn around, maybe things could get better. What if you're the one in a million where things actually do work out? It doesn't seem that simple when it's your life, your story, your real life choice. So in this video, I hope that I can walk you through a few thought experiments in which maybe I can help you see a little more clearly why you probably shouldn't give the narcissist another chance, in a way where you can be more able to emotionally internalize these reasons for yourself in your own real situation, if that is the right answer for you. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I'm not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. So in this video, I'm just going to walk you through a few things that you may not have thought of in certain ways. Little blind spots that a lot of us can develop when we are at the end of a narcissistic relationship and we're trying to make sense out of what's happened to us. Little blind spots that we obviously can't see because they're blind spots, where the truth is kind of hiding behind things that we haven't thought about or considered in certain ways. When we are at the end of a narcissistic relationship, it can be so disorienting, so confusing, and so incredibly painful that there are many things that become distorted. We can develop a lot of unrealistic outlooks on things. So that's what I'm going to try to help you see through in this video, to help you see why so many people say not to give the narcissist another chance. Because I think it's really important for you to really understand why most people agree that you shouldn't give the narcissist another chance. I think it's important for you to really be able to understand why it applies to you as well, why nobody is really the exception to this consensus that most people have agreed on. People that have experienced this and people that have given narcissists second chances. If this is something that you are trying to navigate through, it can be really difficult to just take everybody's word for it. It can be really difficult when it seems like there's so much at stake, so much to lose. It's really hard to just have faith in the consensus of all these people, all these voices, even if they've been through what you're going through now. So let me walk you through a few things that you can think of, hopefully in a different way, where you can feel more confident in your decision not to give the narcissist another chance, if that is the decision you've come to. The first thing I want to talk about is whether or not you can really trust the narcissist again. I know for me, this was something that took me a long time before it really kind of dawned on me that even if the narcissist came back and changed and everything was great, or whatever it was I was hoping for, would I really be able to trust this person again? Another similar question would be, can you come back from what the narcissist has done to you? Can you come back from the things that have been said, from the insults that they've hurled at you, from the ways that they have betrayed you? Now, think about this. Think of the worst insult that they've hurled at you. Can you really come back from this? Can you really feel safe with this person again? Can you ever feel emotionally connected and accepted by this person. If this person comes back into your life, if you give this person another chance, is this really something that's not going to permanently affect the future? If they have been violent with you, is this something that you can really feel sure is not going to happen again? And what about if they've told friends and family lies about you? Let's say that they've told all of their friends how awful you are, how terrible you are, how miserable you made them, which is very, very common for narcissists to do. Are they going to go back to all these friends and family that you once spent time with and correct themselves? Are they going to go back to all these friends and family and say, hey, you know, all that stuff I said about my ex, well, we're getting back together and I just want you to know that I made all that stuff up. She or he is actually really great and I just was having issues. You know, it's actually all my fault. I was actually a really abusive, awful person. And that's why I told you all those lies about them. Is the narcissist going to do that? No. So how do you envision the future with this person if you were to give them another chance? How do you envision moving forward? Can you go back into these circles of friends and family that you once probably felt okay in and accepted in, knowing that they've probably been told all kinds of things about you, all kinds of awful things that you did, things about maybe how crazy you are, how mean you are? Do you really want to go back into an environment that's really been tainted or destroyed by the things that the narcissist has told people? Those are things that really can't be undone. I know for me, that was a big thing when it kind of dawned on me. I can't go back into these circles of friends unless he completely admits to everything that he's done and the real reasons that this relationship ended. And that's just not going to happen. And honestly, even if it did, are these friends and family even going to believe it or care? No, I think for a lot of them, whoever came first, whatever awful stories they heard first, those are the ones that are really going to stick. And I don't know, I just really don't want to hang around a whole bunch of people that think that I'm crazy and mean and impossible to live with. And I certainly am not going to feel safe, connected, accepted, and warm and fuzzy inside with someone that did that, with somebody that went around and told everybody how awful I am. That's not the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. I don't care how sorry that person is. That's damage that can't be undone. That's a betrayal that, for me personally, I can't come back from. So that's one question you can ask yourself. Whatever it is the narcissist has done to you, has said about you, has said to you, things they've accused you of, things that they've done to you, maybe they've cheated on you, stolen things from you, maybe they've ruined your job, maybe they've destroyed friendships. These things that they have done to you, are these things you can come back from? Are these ghosts that you can live with? Are these ghosts that you want to live with? Ending a narcissistic relationship can be so painful and so confusing that we don't stop to consider what it is we're hoping for when we're hoping that maybe the narcissist can change. We don't really stop and think through the reality of what the best case scenario would be. And for me, this is a big one, is really, there are some things that you really just can't come back from. Even if the narcissist actually wanted to change, which is a 1 in a million shot, there are things that you just can't come back from. There are things that make the relationship virtually impossible to repair. There are wounds that really can't heal, especially when you're with someone with such extreme emotional handicaps. Even if they want help, even if they decide to start working on themselves, they're already starting in such an unhealthy place that to expect them to be able to work on the relationship with you in a way that's going to heal these deep wounds, it's just not practical. Another thing you can consider when you're trying to decide whether or not to give the narcissist another chance is, how good has this person ever been? Have they ever really been what you need? Or have they only been what you need in your imagination? Now, I know many of us have gone through the love bombing phase of a narcissistic relationship, but even in the best of times in this love bombing stage, the narcissist was never being genuine with you. At no point in the relationship was the relationship healthy, even in the love bombing stage. At no point did the narcissist see you in a realistic light. Did the narcissist hear you or really even recognize you as an autonomous human being. At no point did the narcissist ever really get to know you. At no point did the narcissist ever really care about your feelings, your perspective, your needs, your wishes, your wants. At no point did the narcissist engage in a healthy, reciprocal relationship. This relationship, from the narcissist's point of view, has always been 100% about the way that it makes the narcissist feel. They have never had empathy for you. They have never cared about your life, your story, other than the pieces of information that they could use to manipulate you into giving them what they want. At no point has this been a healthy partner. And I think if you really think about this, what you're longing for when you're tempted to take the narcissist back is just a return to the fantasy that you were living in the beginning of the relationship. Because even in the best of times, it was a fantasy. At no point has a narcissist been the person that you really need them to be. So how could they ever become the person that they've never been? No matter what they promise, even if they promise that they're going to change, they don't know what they're promising to change into. Do you know what you're hoping that they will change into? Is there really a realistic vision of what this change would even look like? The narcissist doesn't know how to be a supportive partner. The narcissist doesn't know how to hold space for your past, your pain, your wishes, your wants, your needs. The narcissist doesn't even know how to do that or what it even means. And in your state where you're probably in an enormous amount of pain, probably recovering from a trauma bond, it's really hard to realistically envision what this would even look like, because if you've been in this relationship for a while, if this has felt normal to you, if you've spent maybe years with somebody that treats you like you don't matter, that doesn't have any time or space for your pain or the things that you want to talk about, the things that you think about, this might feel so normal to you that you don't even really have a vision of what a healthy relationship looks like. And when the narcissist promises they're going to change, you probably don't even think about what that should mean. To have a healthy relationship, you need someone that is able to help create an environment in which you feel accepted, even when you make mistakes, even when you spill something, or you clean the floor the wrong way, or you mix the laundry up, or you forget something. You still feel accepted and loved. Not loved in a romantic fantasy way, but loved as if you are a human being that deserves respect, that deserves the right to make mistakes sometimes without having all the love and acceptance taken away from them. Narcissists create an environment in which we live in constant fear of suddenly being emotionally abandoned at any moment for any reason. And a healthy relationship should be with somebody that doesn't make us feel this way. A healthy relationship would be with somebody that, even if they get angry with us over something, they still love and accept us. Is that something that the narcissist is even capable of doing? When the narcissist promises that they're going to change, is that what they're promising to change into? Somebody completely different? A completely different person? Is that what you want? Is for this person that you've had this relationship with to promise you that they're going to become a completely different person that they can't even specifically describe? Are they going to become somebody that you can confide in? Can you ever confide in the narcissist without knowing that when the circumstances change, when a little time goes by, they're going to take whatever you confided in them and they're going to use it against you as a weapon? They're going to go behind your back and tell other people what you confided in them? No, you need somebody that you can confide in that won't someday betray you with that won't look at the things that you confide in them as potential weapons. And this is what narcissists do. Do you really expect a narcissist to stop doing that? Even when you were in the love bombing stage, as you've probably learned, when you felt safe confiding in them, when you felt safe opening yourself up, you learned later that the things that you told them in confidence were eventually used against you. So even when things were great in your eyes, they really weren't, because you were never safe in confiding in them. They were never someone that you could really trust, even when it felt like they were. And have they ever been somebody that could emotionally support you when you've had a bad day, when somebody was mean to you, when something went terribly wrong, or maybe somebody at work stole the credit for something or cheated you out of something? Have they ever been there to just sit and listen and support you and provide space for you, other than when they're collecting potential weapons to use against you later? Do they really care about any of the things that you struggle with? I think if you've had any amount of time in a relationship with a narcissist, you have come to learn that they are not there to listen to you. They are not there to support you in your pain and in your problems, unless they're doing it in the hopes that they can cash in on it later somehow. I think most of us that have been in narcissistic relationships have eventually come to realize that the narcissist is never really listening to you, even if they're sitting there nodding and looking empathetic or whatever when you're telling them about your struggles, your bad day, past experiences. They're never really listening. And there are different ways that they eventually show us that they really don't care about what we're saying. Like, they'll forget everything we told them, or they'll say something very insensitive, just things that kind of betray what they really think and feel, and that is that they really don't care about anybody else's pain but their own. And when you share your pain with them, they actually feel a little annoyed and put out that you're wasting their time with things that are important to you. Another thing that you can think about is whether or not they deserve a second chance. Why would you give a second chance to this person? If you think about all the things that they've done, all the reasons that this relationship has ended, why would you give them another chance? And chances are you've probably already given them many chances. Did they deserve any of those chances? What did they do with them? Is there any reason at all that you can look at this and say, okay, this is different? The only thing I can think of that would cause me to think maybe this person deserves another chance is if they truly owned the things they've done, taken accountability for them, not tried to blame me for their behavior, and just completely admitted to everything that they've done and taken ownership of why the relationship actually ended. Acknowledge the problem, basically. If a narcissist can't acknowledge the real reasons that the relationship isn't working or hasn't been working, how can you have any hope for them to fix it? How can you hope for a narcissist to change something that they can't even admit to? And if they can't admit to or acknowledge the real problem, why would they deserve another chance? Another thing you can think about is what reality would actually look like. What this vague fantasy you have could actually materialize into. When we are at the end of a narcissistic relationship, this can be such an incredibly painful, confusing experience that we can develop such an intense hope for something to change, such an intense hope that maybe this relationship doesn't have to end. Maybe we can go back to the way it was and we don't have to walk through this fire. We don't have to experience this extreme emotional pain that we're in. Maybe there's a way to avoid this, but we don't really stop to think about what that means. We're really stuck in this fantasy of maybe there's a way that I don't have to be in so much pain anymore. But if you really think about it, like, how could that happen? What would that look like in real life? This fantasy is a very vague idea of just something that's going to make the pain go away. Just anything that's going to make the pain go away. But if you really think about it, what would that really look like? The narcissist coming back into your life, and what? How would things ever really be different? I think we can get so caught up in this intense hope that just the idea of being with the narcissist again and being there in the moments where they were being somewhat nice or just not being mean, this can feel in our minds, in our imaginations, like such an intense relief that we want that so badly that we really don't stop to think about the reality that we would just be returning to. we would be returning to the same relationship that put us in this extremely painful position in the first place. So when we hope for change, what are we really hoping for? Can you envision what just a normal night watching TV, visiting relatives, or going out to dinner, what a normal day would look like? Texting them and saying, oh, I'm going to be late. Sorry, I'm going to be 10 minutes late coming home from work. Or can you pick up dinner? I'm going to be late for work. I mean, these normal everyday interactions. What do you want to watch on TV? I'm going to visit my sister next week. Do you want to come with me? You know, just these normal back and forths. Maybe, like I was saying earlier, if you had a bad day, are you going to be able to come home and confide in them? And are they going to act different? Do you really think they're going to change? And what do you really think that change is going to look like? Instead of getting caught on this fantasy of being able to avoid this painful process, this fantasy of maybe they'll change and maybe I'll be one in a million that I won't have to go through this pain. Think about, well, what would that actually look like? Try to visualize the specific reality that you're hoping for. And you'll probably see that you're really just desperately hoping for the avoidance of something. And you really haven't stopped to think about what's actually going to replace the reality that caused all this in the first place. When it comes to the relationship with the narcissist and going back to this relationship with the narcissist, I don't believe that you can really visualize specifically a healthy relationship with this person without visualizing a completely different person. And if what you really need is a completely different person, then in my opinion, what you really need is a completely different person. There's no reason to think that this adult human being that has been this way their entire life is going to turn into a completely different human being for you and for your relationship with them. That's just not going to happen. Even if it did, how do you know they're going to turn into the person that is right for you? What are the odds of that? They're not the person you need now. And if they completely change into a completely different person, what are the odds that that's going to be the person that's actually right for you? Logically, rationally, it makes a lot more sense to give up hope on this person that has been so bad for you, that has caused you so many problems, and to do your healing work and then go look for a completely different person, the person that you actually want to be with, because that person is out there somewhere, somebody that's right for you. And you're not going to find that person in this person that has already shown you that they are not right for you. And just to close this out with probably a more familiar sounding rant, if you give this person another chance, where's it going to end? Are you going to give them another chance after that, and another chance after that, and another chance after that? Where does it end? When do you finally give up and say, I'm done giving this person chances? And why? Why would you give somebody multiple chances or even second chances when they've already shown you who they are? This is probably someone that you have spent a lot of time begging and pleading with to be a certain way, to treat you with decency, to treat you with respect. You've probably begged this person to be decent with you, and they just absolutely refuse to do it. And now that the relationship's fallen apart, maybe now they're promising to do X, Y, and Z. They've already shown you who they are, and promises don't mean anything. For a narcissist to change into somebody that suddenly knows how to respect you or suddenly wants to respect you, they have to become a completely different person. And like I've said in other videos, if it took the relationship ending for them to suddenly know how to respect you and suddenly care about the relationship, why would you want to be in a relationship with somebody that doesn't care and won't listen until it actually ends? If they suddenly care and they suddenly get it because the relationship is now over, then they never really cared in the first place. It's just that now it's like, oh, this is serious. I have to do something about this temporarily in order to get this person back under my control so that we can go back to the way things were. It's important to understand that narcissists don't want to change. They don't want to change. They don't want a healthy relationship. They don't want the things that you want. They don't want a reciprocal relationship. They don't want a healthy relationship. They don't want to be able to accept you the way you are. They want someone to use as a scapegoat. They want someone to pick on. They want someone that they can pretend is lower than them so that they can feel good about themselves. They don't want you on an even level with them. They don't want to treat you like you matter. They don't want these things. So why would they change? The only reason that they will tell you that they're going to change, convince you that they're going to change, is so that they can put you back into the box that they've had you in. And many narcissists will re-engage in relationships just so that they can end it with the upper hand, or just so that they can hurt their partner more. Many narcissists will get back into a relationship just so that they can be the one to end it. And if you're the one that ended this relationship with a narcissist, with somebody that has been abusive towards you, you need to understand that this person is never, ever going to forgive you for trying to break free of them. They are never going to forgive you for trying to move on with your life, for trying to make a healthy space for yourself. They will never forgive you for that. And if right now they seem desperate, and maybe they even seem sorry, make no mistake, they are angry with you. They are angry at you for doing what they perceive as humiliation. They feel like you're humiliating them by forcing them, quote, forcing them to act sorry, forcing them to pretend that they care, or to try to change trivial things that they don't want to change. And once they feel like they've regained control and put things back where they go, things aren't just going to go back to the way they were. They're going to go back to something much worse, because they're now doubly angry with you. They were angry at you before for being a human being that isn't perfect and for failing to make all of their emotional problems go away. But now they're going to be doubly angry with you because you tried to leave. You tried to break this off. You tried to regain control of your own life. And they're going to make you pay for that. So that's another thing to consider when you're trying to decide whether or not you should give the narcissist another chance. You need to realize that if you do this, this is a huge risk. You're taking a huge risk when you hand any amount of control back to the narcissist. When you hand any piece of yourself back to the narcissist, you're taking a huge risk that they're going to take whatever they can to punish you for trying to get away in the first place. And why would you take that risk? What do you think the payoff could possibly really be? Think about that. What do you really think you're going to get out of this relationship? Can you visualize it specifically? What great reward do you think is worth taking this huge risk on someone that has already shown you over and over and over again what they're willing to do to you and how they're willing to treat you? How could it possibly be worth the risk that you would have to take in order to give them another chance? How could it possibly be worth it? If you're looking for a way to support my channel and you've been considering professional therapy, BetterHelp is offering 10% off of their first month of service if you sign up using the link below in my description. And if you sign up using the link below in my description, I will get a one-time commission. So that'll help me out, and it'll help you out as well if that's something that you've been thinking about doing. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below any ideas you have for me for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye.